Good evening, Matador family, and thank you all so much for joining for this town hall. It has been some time since we've come together to hear updates of the happenings in Seguin ISD. I greatly appreciate you all taking time out of your busy schedule to spend here with us this evening. I know there is so much happening right now, and I appreciate you carving out this 30 minutes to hear some updates on what is happening in Seguin ISD. It is really hard to believe that we are almost at the finish line. This school year has certainly gone by fast. We have encountered many challenges, but there is certainly so much more to celebrate. First, I'd like to start by celebrating one of our student athletes who went all the way to state. Matador Nyla Harris. She placed 6th in the Division 5A track meet on May 13th in Austin. We are very proud of not only Nyla, but those other athletes who advanced to the state level. They have certainly made us proud and represented us very well at the state level. So this evening, I have a few things that I'm going to touch on. The first is going to be a little bit of information on our middle school redesign that is taking place at both A.J. Breezemeister and Barnes Middle School. I would also encourage you, if you have not had the opportunity to pass by A.J. Breezemeister and see the progress that they are making on that facility. Had the opportunity to tour with my team on Monday and just see the amazing progress that is taking shape there. I am so proud of the work that is happening, and I'm just so thankful for the community for supporting Bond 2019, which has afforded us this great opportunity to renovate that campus. I'm going to talk a little bit about strategic planning. We are on Strategic Plan 2.0. As many of you all know, we are on the last year of our current strategic plan, and there is a lot of work happening that I'd like to share with you. I'm going to touch on the single member trustee redistricting that is happening as a result of the 2020 census, a process that we go through every 10 years, and then just share some end of school news with you all. And if time permits, allow you all to ask us some questions that you may have. First, the middle school redesign. As you all know, we have struggled for a number of years at the middle school level in getting those campuses to perform in a place that we can certainly be proud of. And this transformation really started this year when at the end of the school year, Seguin ISD applied to be part of the Texas Education Agency's system of great schools. We were very fortunate to be selected because of the work that we are already doing that is innovative, and to be part of this elite group of school systems that has this opportunity to really do some innovative things for kids. And with that comes dollars to support that innovation. So for each campus, we have been awarded $750,000 for a period of 3 years to be able to redesign the way that we teach and learn at those campuses. We have partnered with Transcend Education to help support and facilitate that work with our campus leadership teams and their staff. We are currently looking at updating the master schedules to build in some time on Fridays to support relevant learning that happens through project-based learning to allow our students to solve the problems that they are facing in their school community and their community. I would encourage you to take the time to attend one of our community meetings as parents. And if you're a community member and you're interested in learning more about this work, I would also encourage you to come. I've had an opportunity to engage with some parents of 4th and 3rd graders that I would also recommend coming if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what your child's middle school experience is going to entail. We're going to host these meetings here at Central Office. The first one on Monday, May the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. The second one on May 24th at 8:10 a.m. And then that same day at noon. I would also encourage you to take time to visit this website that really gives an in-depth overview of the work that is happening at these two schools. It outlines what the 3-year implementation phases are going to look like. There's an academic model where we're going to really put in place some blended learning opportunities. We are going to utilize high quality instructional materials to help ensure that our students are learning material that is rigorous and relevant, and put in place high dosage tutoring for our students who need that additional support. And the campuses are taking a variety of approaches to ensure that our kids will receive that just-in-time support to get them where they need to be. Our goal is to ensure that all students are at grade level at the meet our master's standard on STAR, while at the same time just meeting the needs of the whole child and putting in place support for social emotional well-being. In addition to all of that, we all realize that we need an additional instructional time. And so at the two middle schools, we are extending the learning time for all of our students so that we can ensure that they are able to master the rigorous content that they are going to be presented. For example, on this master schedule, you're going to see on an A day, they're going to go through the 7 periods. And our minutes for our classes are going to increase from about 45 to 49 minutes to upwards of 60 minutes, which is going to really help our students have sufficient time to master those math, science, reading, and social studies skills. When you look at the Friday schedule, there's going to be time to work on those PBL lessons in the morning for a period of 90 minutes. And there's going to be 90 minutes of intervention and enrichment time. Our goal is to provide that just-in-time support to our students rather than waiting until it's too late at the end of the school year in summer. When a standard is being taught and we identify that students are struggling, they have an opportunity to ensure that they can master that standard on Friday. For those students who are mastering the standard, we want to make sure that we are also meeting their needs by providing them with enrichment, because we want to get ultimately all students to meet, but if students are meeting, we want to get them to that master's level. In addition to that information on the site, this will also walk you through what a typical day would look like for a student at our middle school. And there's additional information on what our high quality instructional materials is going to look like, what that support is going to look like in every class. So I would encourage you to take that time to look at that website to learn a little bit more about how the middle schools are going to be redesigned to better serve our community. Because one thing that we have realized is that our middle schools have struggled for a number of years. So the traditional way that we have been operating isn't quite meeting the needs of our students. And we have to take a different approach. We've tried the traditional method. We've tried just your common responses to schools that are not meeting the standard that you would hope that they would meet. It's time to really take a drastic approach and do something that is going to really move the needle and better support our students in Seguin ISD. So I would encourage you to attend those meetings on Monday or Tuesday. And if you are a community member and you are interested in how that redesign is going to look, please feel free to attend. It is hard to believe that we are on the last year of our current strategic plan that was developed during the 2017-2018 school year when I first came to the school district. We are in the 4th and final year, and our work is already underway for Strategic Plan 2.0. Our school board has already adopted the 7 goals that we are going to be looking at, those and 4 priority areas. This process has involved various community stakeholders who have engaged in and have also engaged in 8 different task forces to identify areas of opportunity and then recommend actions to plan for improvements. We are going to be putting out a survey to solicit feedback from our community. Even though we are towards the latter part of this process, it is essential that we continue to get the community's input on this process prior to engaging on the thought exchange that we are going to be sharing with you. I encourage you to visit the strategic planning page that is going to be linked. It outlines the process that we have utilized. We first started having conversations in the summer of 2021, where we created an internal steering committee, and then we created a visioning task force in the fall. During this time, there were surveys that were distributed to our community, to our parents, to our students, to our staff, to really provide us some input on where you all wanted to go as a district and what did you all see as areas to celebrate and areas of opportunity. We had visioning sessions in November and goal development in January. We've been developing the performance objectives and have had our target area task forces meeting to look at those objectives and really outline some strategic actions that we can take. We have included the names of those who are serving on our task forces, and there are also presentation links and information on what our planning task force look like upon kickoff. In addition to this, you can see what are, I'm sorry, let me look at this link here. You can look at the draft strategic priorities that we're looking at as far and the performance objectives and the actions that we are going to be looking to take. What we are asking you all to do is to take some time to look at all of this work that we have been engaging on since the fall and provide us feedback on things that you believe look good that are going to help move the district even further. Are areas that you feel maybe need a little bit more clarification? Are there maybe something that you all see that should be part of the strategic actions that may not be? Or you simply want to email us and ask us questions, we'd be more than glad to answer. But we are going to be putting out a thought exchange for you all to provide feedback on this strategic plan that we are looking to roll out for next school year. Once you have an opportunity to look at that webpage and take time to look at the strategic plan draft, you will have an opportunity to engage in a thought exchange that is going to be open starting tomorrow until May 25th. Many of you have had an opportunity to provide feedback on a thought exchange. You select your language. You indicate there's the link for the strategic plan. You then indicate who you are, student, parent, community member. And then once you have an opportunity to do that, you have an opportunity to share your thoughts. Once you submit your thought, you will have an opportunity to rate thoughts from other stakeholders who are providing input. So please take some time to provide us this valuable feedback. This plan is really going to drive the work for the next 3 to 5 years. So it's going to be essential that we receive feedback on the direction that we are going to be going in the future here in Seguin ISD. The other update that I want to touch on, as many of you have been paying attention to what is happening with the city council has been going through the redistricting process as well. We are looking at how to ensure that the population is evenly distributed, that we're looking at the different makeups from each demographic as well, with a committee that has really been doing an exceptional job of evaluating those trends, and they are currently working on developing some recommendations to take to our board of trustees. So due to the population increases, it is required for us to update our single member district boundaries. The committee of stakeholders was formed a couple of months ago to begin to look and explore boundary map options for our school district. Ultimately, the recommendation will go to our board of trustees, who will then adopt those boundary recommendations. Once the stakeholder finalizes the map, A survey will be emailed to parents, so you will have an opportunity, community members, parents, to provide feedback prior to it going to the board for approval. Please know that any changes to school board boundaries has no impact district boundaries for our single place trustee members. For the end of the school year, it's hard to believe that we are fast approaching graduation. The last day of school is on Thursday, June the 2nd, and I have some great news for our stakeholders, and that is that June 2nd will now be a half day. Dismissal will take place 4 hours after the school start time. So rather than it being a full day, the last day of school is going to become a half day. On graduation, we are currently looking at about 475 students projected to graduate this year. That graduation is going to be held on June the 3rd at Matador Stadium at 8 p.m. It is going to be very similar to graduations that we were accustomed to prior to COVID. There are not going to be any seating restrictions this year, but we will still continue to go with our clear bag policy. Please remember that balloons, large signs, sound making devices, and gifts are prohibited. So once again, we are going back to our pre-COVID practices when it comes to graduation. And many of you have asked whether or not there were going to be seating limitations, and there will not be seating limitations this year. So our graduates will be able to invite as many family members and friends as they would like to. Our summer intersession is scheduled to begin the first session on June the 13th through June 30th, and the second summer intersession will begin on July 11th to the 28th. As part of this, each week-long camp is going to be free, and it will feature project-based hands-on activities and interactive learning. I would encourage you to visit the site that has been created to outline how summer intersession is going to look and provide additional information for you to call and ask questions, as well as how you can go about registering your child to participate in our summer 2022 intersession. There is going to be a variety of offerings for our students, ranging from cooking to those core content areas where we're looking at providing support to students who did not perform on STAR EOC. That concludes all of the information that I am sharing with you at this time. I would like to open it up to any questions or comments that you may have. I want to thank you again for taking the time to visit with me this evening, and I look forward to seeing you all again on a virtual town hall over the summer when we prepare to provide you with updates as we look to open school for the 2022-2023 school year. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I do have a few minutes to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.